Welcome to the weekly PQ Interop call. The goal of this call series is to serve as a touch point for researchers and client devs during the iterative process of developing, deploying, testing, and improving a series of dev nets focused on aggregating post-quantum signatures. This breakout room also supports the longer-term lean consensus vision. Let's jump in. I know that we've got a kind of the basic agenda. I saw that you added a very nice comment underneath it with some detailed information that you like to go through regarding the 3SF mini implementation. We could start there if that works for you.
Yeah, sure. I can put my pull request here in the chat. So basically, I think this is relevant to Zeem, and also if there's any other client teams that are in this call. So basically, from Reem side of things, we just started trying to implement the 3SF Mini into our client. And there were some discrepancies that we have to make against the 3SF Mini that Vitalik wrote, mainly so that it supports the basically compatible with SSC and serialization. So for example, like some of the stuff, like there are some optional fields in 3SF Mini in Python implementation. There is no optional field possible inside SSE, so we had to remove that, as well as some other, like for example, like hashes that use string in the original implementation. We changed it to bytes 32 and stuff like that. So if anyone is interested, I think this, yeah, the PR is up. Feel free to comment in there. Yeah, and I think this is quite important in terms of interop because we'll need to agree on all these fields along with their types in order to actually be able to interop. So yeah, I guess like my message is just that.
Great. So if people could make a point to review that pull request, I don't know if anyone from Zeem or Nimbus or Lantern or any other participating client teams are on the call and want to ask any questions or have any comments, or anyone else.
Yeah, so Getjinder is the one who worked on our implementation of 3SF, so I'm not very familiar with the details. We implemented something like a few months ago. I mean, he did. I know that our library supports optionals, so I think, yeah, we would like to keep it this way if possible. I don't think it's a big deal to implement optionals these days, although I know Ethan from Nimbus is trying to push for a different option now, which is stable containers. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I would like to stick to the spec as much as possible, so that we don't have, I mean, of course we're happy to discuss, but I think optionals are not that hard to implement. So I'd rather have that than jump through hoops to not do that.
I see. Noted. I can have a look at optional and then give you our feedback sometime later. Thanks, Guillaume. Oh, maybe a question for Philippe, if you're in the call. So I think your comment said that you should be using Ethereum types, which is used by execution specs. So I'm wondering if that's like the kind of like direction that the consensus specs will also be moving towards that. Um, Plus, I'm not so sure if there's any discrepancies. For example, like execution layer uses RLP for encoding, right? But consensus uses SSC. So I'm not so sure if it's like fully compatible to use like Ethereum types for consensus specs.
Yeah, that comment was I mean, wherever it makes sense to. I think that library is still being built out as well, and Sam would be a good contact there. So yeah, if it makes sense to.
Sam Wilson.
Sam Wilson, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you're not connected with Sam, I can put you in contact.
Yes, please. So I guess the idea is to try to merge both like the consensus and execution into using the same Ethereum types library, right?
Yeah, so I think the goal for them to create that, they moved that out of the execution specs into its own library. And I think just when it makes sense to for both specs to use the same types was my only comment. But obviously, if it falls short of your use cases, then perhaps expanding on that library and adding the types there would be a good first step, and then importing those types into the lean specs, if that makes sense to you.
Okay, sounds good. I'll look into Ethereum types.
Okay, yeah, and I can get you in touch with Sam as well, I think.
Great. The other items that were on the call, one, Gajender and Barnabas, we're going to provide an update. Neither of them are on the call, so we can carry that over to next week if need be. The other two, there was a follow-up discussion that people, I noted that people wanted to have regarding the DevNet 0 spec. Some of the items that I believe are remaining open for discussion were finalizing peer discovery, static peers, block attestation inclusion, and we talked about the 3 SFF mini modifications. Oh, and the placeholder Snark data. I don't know if O or Camille, if maybe one of you had anything that you wanted to discuss regarding peer discovery. And this may have been already finalized async.
Yeah, I don't know. I basically also raised this concern, I think, on one of the calls that, yeah, there is no clear understanding of how we're going to do this, considering that there is no execution client. But yeah, basically, we can just add everything in Genesis. I don't know, all the peers or yeah, if needed, I can try to think more about that. Yeah, maybe specify somehow.
Okay. And then placeholder Snark data. Someone explain that to me, what's needed and how to resolve that conversation.
Could you repeat Snark data? What's that?
The same way that we're looking, I guess, for a proxy for peer discovery with no execution. I had another note that people were discussing the need for placeholder Snark data.
Yeah. I don't know. Last time we raised this discussion, I think Gajinder had some alternative opinion about that. But yeah, if we can, yeah, in my opinion, yeah, we can do this kind of placeholder. Yeah, how we can move forward with that.
Okay. And then were there any other updates regarding the spec repo? Felipe, I don't know, I had a note here, you and Magan had a discussion regarding the Poseidon 2 progress.
Yes, sorry, what was the question?
I guess any updates on setting up the spec repo or anything that you needed to flag for people?
No, I think it's been proceeding pretty well. The Poseidon 2 subspec was merged, and I think maybe if anything, Tomas would have a little bit more to say about it. But I think it's in a pretty good spot to kind of hit the ground running.
Okay. Any other items? I know, yeah, Tomas and Gajinder are out today. This may just be a short call. That was all I had on my agenda.
Maybe getting back to the peer discovery topic, do we want to have like fixed peers participating in the DevNet, or we want to kind of be able to add new peers when we want, or any assumptions that we have in that regard, maybe any ideas? If it's just a fixed set of peers, then yeah, maybe just adding them from, I don't know, Genesis block or some spec file should be okay.
I suppose the fewer moving parts for DevNet 0, the better. So yeah, +1 to fix peers.
Okay. Yeah, then it should be easy.
Okay. Okay. Well, last call, but I think that this probably concludes this for this week. Great. Thank you all. I'll post the recording and notes shortly.
You guys. Right.
Thanks.
Bye.
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 Right.